So people have been trying to define contemporary dance and dance theatre for about 40 years, and no one's quite done it yet. But I'll do it now. Dance theatre looks at this idea of bringing together the performativity of dance and theatre within a space. So some of it depends on which side the person begins on. So often with someone that's coming from a theatre perspective, it becomes physical theatre. And if it's from the dance perspective, it would be dance theatre, so it would be the inclusion of word within it or the work of a dramaturg within it. And it just takes us slightly out of that sense of dance as this kind of abstract aesthetic and places in potentially more kind of realism, places in things like narrative, but not in the balletic sense of narrative. So yeah, it kind of hit Europe in maybe kind of 20 years ago.
All right.
And has kind of developed from there, and there's various companies like Ultima Vers in Belgium, or I mean Tanztheater, you know, Pina Bausch's company in Tanztheater Wuppertal. Like, I mean, they're extraordinary companies.
All right, so very quick question before we break into a commercial break. Now, do you think, when we speak about dance theatre, art as general, not just theatre or dance or even sculpting, art as general, do you think the culture of Sri Lanka can be portrayed by its core? Or do you think, like what you mentioned before, does it always have to be universal? Do we have to be relative to other cultures as well? But can we stick into our Oriental culture and show it out to the world in as a whole? Because sometimes artists, they tend to stumble, they tend to not be very relative into other cultures when it comes to performing or putting out what their artistry is. So
but I think it's about having the choice to do that, having the agency of choice. This is the answer. This is the thing for me about permission and education.
Yeah.
Like, if an artist makes work and has no idea of the multiple contexts that may sit in, then they have no choice to make.
Right.
Because they only have the knowledge that they're given within a specific culture. Whereas if you're exposed to all these different things, then you find the niche that perhaps some aspect of your work might sit. And sometimes it might be about drawing in other influences. But without that choice, there is no, without that knowledge and chance to go out and see stuff, there is no choice.
Well, hopefully
provoke emotion. Doesn't matter. I saw wonderful Russian theater in Russia, in the language, in Russian language, in I don't remember where, in Spain or where, and emotion. I didn't understand anything, but they provoke emotion. So the other day I saw a wonderful Sri Lankan performer talking in Sri Lankan, moving. And she provoked an emotion, and this is enough. This is the starting point, and then you do everything.
So it doesn't have to have barriers of ethnicity or localities or even communities. It can just be something very random, very out of the heart. When it comes to
and if the thing is, if there are those barriers, then that's probably where the work needs to happen.
Exactly.
Like, that's where the pieces need to be made, because those are the things that need questioning.
Yeah.
Adrian did a lovely thing with his students the other day outside the Goethe, where there's a very classic clown move of sweeping the audience out the way. A clown with a broom, and he'll sweep the audience out the way, and that's like a kind of fundamental classic, isn't it? A kind of special move of a clown. But he had the whole group go out into and sweep across the road and swept all the traffic, so all the tuk-tuks and everyone that started, and they slowly kind of swept their way across the road. But it was a beautiful thing, because one of the things I've noticed here is sweeping. It's a massive thing that goes on all over Sri Lanka. And you've got this thing
common,
where
isn't it?
you're always trying to, and also in the country, like where we were staying inland from Hikkaduwa, people are keeping the jungle at bay every morning by sweeping the ground around their house.
Yes.
And there's this,
It's a great morning soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Sweeping's a great
Definitely
thing.
is.
Rhythm, dancing with the rhythm,
Definitely.
singing with the rhythm, and this is a performance.
And actually, that became a piece in the Biennale of one of the other artists that's here
Really?
in Surumadura.
Amazing.
Yeah, Hannah. She really got into these brooms. And
We use them, It's the one we use from Hannah. Sorry, Hannah.
I think we met Hannah last week.
Did you?
She
Oh,
was
right.
here,
Oh, great. So she's talked to you about it.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's amazing, the fact that we can actually have the day-to-day, the intricate details of the day-to-day activities, and just turned them into artistry. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you guys were here. I'm having so much fun in the studio. I hope that you enjoyed the show as well. So because we have more of your friends out there who are waiting to be on the sets, we have to say goodbye to you, Tom, Thor and Adrian, but we'll be right back.
No.
They don't want to go.
We're not going to leave now.
No, we go back to sleep.
Or heckle.
Alright, we are going to sweep them
No,
away.
I have an
from the
idea. I have an
sets.
idea. What you say about when he start career breaking the TVs?
Yes.
Do it at home.
Yes.
Try
Yes.
it.
Try
It's
that.
very good.
Unplug the TV.
Not now, not now. Please wait until the
Well,
whistle is over.
after the program.
Yeah.
After the program, you can do what Adrian was
In the
just
advert
talking
break.
about. Alright, time to sweep you guys away from the
Very
set.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so we will be back after the commercial break with more of the artists who are contributing to Colombo Arts Biennale this year. So
Still what?
welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. You are with me, your host Anupama. It's the 5th of February. If you missed the previous segments, do not, well, you missed a lot, but do not worry, you can always check us out online on YouTube. If you just search for MTV Sports, and our channel will be available to you. Alright, so before the break, we were talking to 3 of the most interesting artists that I've seen this week. And I'm sure that these 3 will also entertain you with similarly. We have 3 more artists who are contributing to the Colombo Arts Biennale in our studios right now, and introducing you to Mahen,
Hi.
Pietro, and Tristan. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
Good morning.
How does it feel? Good morning. How does it feel like to be at GMSL Studios?
I think it's a fantastic place.
Oh yes, absolutely.
How
It's a bit
does
early though. It's a bit early for me.
it's a bit early, so you're not morning people at all.
I'm not a morning person.
Not
no.
at all, not at all. I wake
typically-
up at about 10 o'clock
Are
in
you
the morning.
serious?
I'm
Yes.
typically going to sleep right about now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, so
Okay, interesting. Pietro?
Yes, I have a son, so I have to wake up very early in the morning.
Right, awesome. So, how has it been like being in Sri Lanka and contributing to Colombo Arts Biennale? Is this your first time?
This is my first time
All right.
participating in Biennale.
yeah, likewise. It's the first time both participating and first time in Sri Lanka.
Awesome. So, how has it been? The adventures of Sri Lanka. How has it been so far?
It's been fantastic. You know, the work has taken over a lot of the time and energy, which is great because the work is you know, very pleased with the work. So I've only seen and sort of explored a little bit relative to the vast you know, richness of the country, but what I have seen has been really wonderful.
All right, amazing. Pietro?
Yes, for me it was incredible because I just arrived with the plane at 5 in the morning and began to install the work because the opening of the show was the day after. So I was like 20 hours inside the GDA Pereira Gallery, mounting 400 insects of paper inside the wall, and after, fortunately, I did have the time to visit Colombo. I went also to Gale, so it's very exciting for me to be here.
Awesome. That's amazing to hear. Now the viewers must be wondering what sort of areas do you contribute in art. So why don't you just introduce yourself to the audience and tell them what you're doing.
Yeah,
Mahen.
I'm actually initially I'm a painter, but now I've moved on to doing sculpture and installation. For the Art Biennale this time, I've created a kind of installation, I would say a curio cabinet, filled with soft sculptures made out of my own clothes.
Right.
Yeah, and they're all sewn into different shapes and forms.
Okay.
And yeah, what intrigued me to do it was to really to find a certain kind of subconscious, kind of an implicit memory, how it is traced through the material, and then how I install them in different positions.
Wow, that's amazing. Have you been doing that sort of work?
Yes, I've been actually, my work is more formal in the sense that it's a formalistic approach that I take, and then how I explore different materials. Usually I use a lot of found objects and waste kind of complete what you find on the streets.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel that there's a kind of a certain fragility and a certain what do you call it?
Easiness to sculpt?
Yeah, easiness to sculpt.
Okay.
When
Plasticity,
there is a lot
like
of
plasticity.
Right.
where when the material itself is very used and worn out.
Yeah, true, very true. That's very interesting. Okay, more on that later. I'm pretty interested in that. Pietro, what do you do as an artist?
So, I come from Italy, from Rome, and
yes.
And I usually draw. I usually use paper, and I draw paper on paper. I cut paper. I make installation with paper, and paper for me it's a medium to explore history and some political issue. And so what I usually do is to travel in different places in the world and to make some study on some different topics, usually about the subject of freedom or self-defense.
Nice.
And after to create some work on this kind of topic. So it's like sort of political, social work.
Amazing, that's amazing. It's wonderful to have you here. Yes, go ahead, Tristan.
Yes, so actually I'm trained as an architect, and my practice is both art and architecture. And I do a lot of work, actually, and I work in a lot of mediums, so it's sometimes a little hard to define what I do.
Where you exactly stand?
Yeah, well, not where I stand. I know where I stand, but what I do is maybe a little bit more fluid, which intentionally so, right? Because you know, my work is always changing. It's rapidly evolving, which I think makes it a little bit hard to define. But relative to this project and to the Biennale, the work is fundamentally about a sort of pre-language material spatial experience, right? And so you know, maybe where my work is a little bit different. I mean, maybe if we're going to start some dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Where my work is a little bit different is that it's intentionally non-referential, right? Or it becomes self-referential, so it's not about the reference and the sort of experience of the reference. It tries to go beyond that and to become somehow more universal as an experience, right? In terms of a human experience of a space. And so one thing that I'm really interested in is the idea of transformation, and that can be the transformation of a space, it can be the transformation of a material, or it can be the transformation of an experience. And my work is absolutely not performance art. You know, like the three amazing fellows that we heard earlier, they really, you know, were performing even on the show. But I think of the work as performative.
Yes.
Right? Because really it's about how does it create the viewer, how does it turn the viewer into a performer, right? So if my work is successful as sort of large spatial installations, what it would do is in and of itself transform and create a series of readings, right? These sort of pre-linguistic readings. Right. But what it would also do is it would create an opportunity for the user or the sort of viewer, the audience, to become part of the performance of the piece, right? To really become agents and sort of immersive in the piece. And so maybe that's how I would start to draw some threads or linkages between what, you know, all of the artists are doing.
Of course, that's amazing. That's wonderful. So far, how has it been like working in the Colombo Arts Biennale until this day? Was it a good experience?
Yes, it was definitely a good experience in a sense. For me to work also with Pietro is just next to me. And
but talking as a Sri Lankan, it's very interesting to see all sort of new aspects of art coming into.
Yeah, because the thing is, we have a lot of we have a few galleries, and the galleries are predominant. They predominantly represent local artists, and we don't have a chance to mingle with international artists. So I think the Biennale has really come out to accentuate that aspect of the problem.
Well, that's the whole point of having the Colombo Arts Biennale, I think. The theme this year is making history. How do you and your work contribute to the theme?
Shall I start? For me, I think the minute I saw the theme making history, I thought there was a strong correlation between my work and the theme, because making history, if you take it kind of the juxtapositioning of it, making is about purely doing something. I mean, etymologically speaking, it's just art, you know. And then for me, my work is also spontaneous. It's almost like a child play. You just keep on doing things. There's no end or there's no beginning, you just mold it. And then when it's followed by a history, how is that exploration feeds in